Hello everyone, and welcome back to my read-through of the books in Uru, Ages Beyond Mist. I'm G, and I am going to try to theme this episode around the ages in the base game. So, these ones. So, I'm going to start, and I'm going to do them in the order that I did them in my playthrough. So, there's several that are actually in Denis, but you have to get there via linking through these ages. Therefore, they count. So, let's get started. The Story of Shomat, taken from Book 43C. We have yet to name it. Translation, Nick. First draft. At the age of 121, Shomat had resided in his palace of the kings for 20 years. Though the palace had taken 45 years to construct and new additions had been added every year, Shomat was still not pleased with all that surrounded him. His palace was larger than any structure in the city, and the gardens of his palace were more beautiful than any other living plants that the people had ever known. But Shomat demanded more from those who created his home and his gardens. Shomat sent messengers demanding that Lamash, the head, this word seems to define some sort of leader of the servants, although they never defined them as servants, have to ask Dr. Watson, of his place, come to his gardens immediately, and Lamash obeyed. Yes, my king, what is it that you require of me? Do you see these bulbs of orange and leaves of brown that surround me? Of course, my king. They are unlike any that dwell in this cavern. Do you see the intricate stone that surrounds me? Asked Shomat. Of course, again, there is none like them in the cavern. And Shomat suddenly became angry, cursing at his servants. Not really servants, but it'll have to do. And screaming at those in his presence. Who do you think that I am? Do you think I have never used the books to see the beauty that lies outside this cavern? I have written these books myself, even while you have seen me trained by the Grand Master. And yet you act as though I should be pleased at the beauty that now surrounds me. Beauty that comes only from this cavern of no light, no warmth, and no color? Do you think stone and darkness are all that I require? Who do you think that I am? My king, what is it that you ask of me? Bring to me Grand Master Kenry. Together you will work in a writing sense, with him and create for me real beauty, roaring watercolors beyond imagination, living creations, not stone. These are the gardens that I demand. Now go and bring them to me. And so, Lamash went to Kenry, Grand Master of the Guild of Writers, and together they created an age with beauty that was beyond that which any man had seen before. And together they brought their king to the age, 8 months, these are Denis months, after his request had been made. Shomat was pleased with all that he saw, broad leaves of green and yellow, flowers of every color, and roaring waters of blue and turquoise like the most colorful stones of Denis. And he promoted Lamash, as he was already head, I'm not sure about his promotion, but this word is fairly clear, and made Kenry his most prized grandmaster in all of Denis. Shomat spent every day on his new age, and he asked for more of them, and he asked his architects to provide structures on these ages. And while this happened, Shomat's brothers continued to grow more jealous, and their anger turned to rage. They had not been invited to live in the palace of their brother, and now, though multitudes of common citizens were invited to the gardens of Shomat, never once were they allowed to visit, and their hearts burned towards their king and brother. So it was that Shomat was sitting alone in his garden age when 2 creatures approached him. Though they resembled men, they walked on their arms and legs and moved quickly. Shomat was frightened upon seeing the creatures and immediately called for his guards. The creatures ran from the guards, but Shomat ordered his guards to follow them, and the guards obeyed. It was not until the next day that they returned. They claimed they had seen a city with hundreds of these creatures living in it, conversing with one another and organizing armies. These armies lived inside of the garden age of Shomat, and Shomat was very afraid. Shomat ordered the men who had seen the village to be put in prison, not sure if book or physical prison, for what they saw, and he called his most trusted advisor, Lamash, to his residence in the city. Upon hearing of the creatures and their organization, Lamash too was frightened. We have no choice but to burn the book, Lamash recommended. You know this age is not ours, if it is already inhabited. You know the rules of our writing, and of our books, and of our people. But Shomat's heart was not moved by the words of Lamash, and he grew more angry and enraged. The world was created by me, for me. If there are others who exist, they will have to be killed. It is Denis now. So Shomat ordered for his brothers to be brought into his palace, and he informed them of his dilemma. Shomat asked his brothers if they would kill those who lived on his garden ages, and he bribed them with talk of power and authority. And so they agreed, even though they hated their brother. And the brothers of Shomat traveled to the age, and went to the creatures to destroy them. But in talking with the creatures, they became convinced that the creatures should not be killed, but instead they should be used to destroy their brother. And so they devised a plan to kill their brother, the king. While Shomat waited in his palace in the city, his brothers appeared to him. "We have finished," they announced. "The creatures are all dead." Shomat was pleased to hear such words from his brothers, and on the outside he showed love to them. "My brothers, I have done much wrong to you. There have been many times I have not treated you like even those who work in my palace, and I am sorry for these actions. But today you have proven that you do not hold anger like I do. You are better than me. You have shown me favor, and so I ask you to accept what I have to offer you. Please accept this gift." And Shomat gave his brothers a linking book. Its pages were filled with descriptions of beauty and life, like Shomat's own garden age. "And it will be kept here in this palace, where you will live now." Filled with pleasure and forgetting their hate for Shomat, his brothers went to the age quickly, and it was there that they died, thinking that they had fooled their brother. Shomat burned the book in his own fire, forever erasing his brothers and their deceit from his mind. And Shomat ordered the Grand Master to change his garden age so that those who lived there would die. And Kenry obeyed the king, even though he knew it was wrong, and his life was filled with turmoil until he died. But Shomat, though he did what was wrong, continued to live and pursue all that he wanted. The story continues, but it seemed like a good point to stop. I'd like to go over this a few more times with some better translators, maybe even Dr. Watson. I filled in a lot of words as best as I could for now. Looks like they've agreed to let me take control of Teledon. Time to start a journal officially. Maybe not. Kodama popped in, going on about his inspections in his usual arrogant manner. What a joke. Now it's Watson's turn. Acted as though he was chatting, but I could tell he was looking all over, checking on my progress, or maybe making sure I can be trusted. I'll just get used to it. Time to move forward. DRC isn't going to change anytime soon. Merry Christmas. Going up for a few months. Can't take this red tape anymore. Yay for Broncos. Patriots should have been there. Stupid Steelers. Okay, maybe Teledon will help me forget all this. Looks like I'm going to need Watson after all. I found all kinds of journals and notes upstairs that I'm going to need translated. I think Watson is going to let one of his assistants help me out. Sam. Sam is not the fastest translator I've ever seen. I don't think he's even started. Kodama came by again today. Spotted something today. Creature of some land. Forget the history of this place for now. I've got to see that thing again. Saw her again. Wow, what a beauty. She's very sensitive to sound. Startles like an antelope. I'm estimating she's a good 40 feet. Killer whale type. Hard shell, though. No sign of her in this area, at least. Sam says he's going to have some time next week at this rate. She showed up again. I saw her eating. She likes the flappers, feeds on them. Pretty quick and agile for her size. Surprised me. Of course, those flappers aren't real bright. Those who weren't eaten went right back to the spot and waited for her to show up again. Looks like this place was written in 8440 for a Denis Lord, Guild of Caterers. 250th birthday present. If I'm ever 250, somebody better get me something better than this place. Sam is busy again. Did get me some more translations, though. Seems like the mushrooms were once used for some kind of delicacy. To be honest, I'm not sure Sam got that one right. Doesn't make a lot of sense not with what I'm seeing. Watson told me Sam is too busy to help me. I'm going to have to learn this language myself or find someone who can actually help me. Watched her for a while today. Definitely feeds on the flappers close to shore. Also feeds on mushrooms. Does she ever feed on mushrooms? Watched her completely destroy one today. Brought the whole thing down and fed for some time, until scared off by something. Mushroom is gone. Probably sank. Kodama came by again today, and I was glad the girl wasn't around. Last thing I need. 1. The flappers like the spores. 2. The creature liked the flappers. 3. She's scared to death of loud sounds. If I get this equipment running, she's gone. Heading up in a week. Going to try and get this gate down before I go. See if she'll come in while I'm gone. 3 mushrooms were down. Seems all of them were a particular kind. She was in the lagoon. I think I could have taken her out, but not yet. DRC would have a fit. Probably kick me out or something. She's definitely an air breather. Could hear her today. Sleeping on the surface. Kodama followed me here and scared the heck out of her. She woke and shot out of here fast. Kodama never saw her. Apparently some new guy is learning Denis and wants to work with me. We'll see. There are quite a few new people coming down. A group from some game company was recently here, and there was quite a stir. I met a few of them. Nice guys. Haven't seen her for a full month. I'm going to start working on the equipment here. Can't wait forever, and the DRC is getting on me, as though they own the place. The tower is almost working. Need some tools from the surface. No sign of Shroomy. Met the new guy, Nick. Nice guy. This might be real good. Smart guy, picking up Denis fast. He's going to keep at it, but I gave him some material to study in the meantime. Quick trip up and back down. Tower is working. Nick dropped off some translation and it all matches the old stuff. He's working on new material now. Tower is powered in more projects. These buckets are a mess. So is the elevator. I found some kind of pump mechanism to get that water out. I think all of it will have to wait. I'm heading back up for holidays and end of season. Tickets to Monday night game against Miami. Patriots still in the playoff hunt. Patriots out. Back down. Nick is more than I could have hoped for. Seems up for keeping the translation out of DRC's hands. He's had some bad experiences with Kodama and Engberg, and in my camp now. Perfect. Apparently, Hinash only owned the Age for 10 years. At his death, Teledon was left to the Guild of Caterers, who installed the equipment that I'm working on today. Some of the translation has actually been rather helpful. I think I can get the pump working. Was never meant for water, but I think it would pump out the water. Nick says there is quite a bit about a guild captain Ventus who ran the Age for quite a few years and directed the industrialization of the place. Did quite a job, apparently. Although Nick is still reading signs of Shroomy, but I haven't seen her for a long time, and I'm not going to stop working on the equipment now. Apparently no mention of her in the stuff Nick is reading. Pump work, although I'm keeping the water there. Nice form of protection to the other side. At least until I discover what it was used for. That's Nick's job now. I have my ideas, though. Seems as though Ventus installed the gate to keep Shroomy out of here. Didn't like her eating his mushrooms. Good idea. Ventus maybe wasn't so great after all. Ruined the place. Turned it into what we see now. Explains the differences in early descriptions to the later ones. Seems the Age was auctioned off, and that's all of the official records. Nick can share those with the DRC. I don't mind. Showed Nick some of the manuscripts I've kept hidden. I'm quite sure I can trust him. He's given the official report to Watson and the others and is willing to do these extra translations on the side. Good man. Watson, Kodama, and Sutherland came by today. It was pre-arranged so they didn't see anything they didn't need to. They seem satisfied with the work I'm doing, although the fact they continue to check on me still drives me mad. They say they want the Age ready for visitors relatively soon. I didn't realize that anyone and everyone would be allowed access to the place. Well, why not, I suppose. I'll still have my areas. Big argument today with Watson. Upset. I didn't share with him all that Nick had translated. Miscommunication, although I'm happy Nick has kept his mouth closed regarding the other. Regardless, I can't take their nitpicking. I'm heading to the surface for a long trip. Returning to Africa again with the fellows. Don't know when I'll be back here. Nick knows to keep things quiet. I've set things up for Shroomy to return, and I have plans to bring down some new items. Look forward to returning a long time from now. Back to Teledon again. The surface trip triggered some ideas for here that I think I'll begin exploring. Some talks with Engberg might be in order soon. Nick has gotten a load of translation done. I'm going to try and summarize as best as I can, if I can remember everything. This place was owned by a fellow named Manesmo. The man apparently got the place cheap somewhere. He started the harvesting of spores again. It seems the Age has corrected itself over time. Bread, apparently, they were making. The same delicacy Denis had raved about before. He made a decent amount of money. However, he was doing a lot of stuff in the dark. Slave trading. I'm sure Watson would have a fit if he knew this. His precious Denis. Where they were going, we can't find out, but it explains the cages and the whole backside of this place, really. Hiding from maintainers, I suppose. We found some more mention of Shroomy as well. Manesmo saw her pretty frequently. They even found her nest. I'm heading out tomorrow to see. As far as Shroomy herself, she has been here, but was not when I arrived. Shrooms have managed to disappear, and she broke a walkway on the backside. Have to fix that now. No nest. Remains, yes, but she's obviously not been there for a long time. This place is much bigger than I thought. Learned that today. The DRC is getting pretty serious about letting people down here. They have moved to the island and are trying to get portions of the city open for visitors. Moving headquarters to a building there as well. I suppose I'm going to have to get serious about it as well. They're going to make me if I don't. So back to the equipment. Cars are giving me all kinds of trouble. So is this ridiculous elevator. And I don't know why I'm making a quick trip to the surface. Parts. Back with parts. Nick has found out that slaves were going to a place called Rebek. Haven't heard of it myself. I'm going to ask Watson tomorrow. Watson has heard of it. Says they've been there. Asked how I knew, and I realized it was a mistake to ask about it. Told him Nick told me, and fortunately Nick told me later that he had been doing some kind of official translation for the Age. Lucky me, be more careful. Found a new book today, a very special book. Cars are working. Why they need to work, I don't know, but apparently the DRC wants this place restored to its original condition. So, cars are working. Elevators work. Finally, Nick tells me this Rebek age was amazing, but he was pulled off of it. Games with the slaves from here were played there. Hunting game of sorts. I'm not for hunting people, but the game does sound fun. Doubt Watson will want to approve that age too fast. DRC is planning on opening this place up in 2002. They of course haven't bothered to tell me that, but regardless, it's true. Working on getting some lights going in here. I have a feeling inspections will be increasing. Watson informed me of the plans today. 2002 is the target. Thanks. Nick stopped by, and we've got a little more information. Looks like there is some kind of weapon in our hands. At least it could be used as a weapon. After the lights. Inspection planned for next month. Lights are functioning. Cars, doors, elevators. Not sure what else they'll want, but I'm sure they'll come up with something. Well, stupid me. I have an entire list of items that need to be accomplished for this place to be safe. I won't be taking any more ages after this one. Maybe a city location. I can't take this. Shirumi is back. Watched her all day. Out of the blue, I think she's starting to like me. This could be good. I'll give up working for a short while. She's nervous, but coming back daily. Keep the gate down. She's trapped. Got the gate up with her inside eating flappers. Set her off. Pretty obvious she can be a nasty girl if she wants. But still, I'll have a shot. And I need to do it before Kodama shows up. Got her. Time for a surface trip with the important parts. I'll sink the rest. Wooden walkways are fixed. Rails are up. Among the other things in the list of DRC requests. If this place isn't safe, I don't know what it is. Inspection tomorrow. Nick has dropped off some more translations. Seems as though a major inspection into the illegal activities was going on immediately before the fall. Doesn't look like they found anything. Inspection went fine. I guess this place is safe now. I'm heading back to the surface for more tools, football, and the holidays. Another missed playoffs. Oh well. Things are stressful here. 1 year to go for initial visitors and it is beginning to show. However, Sutherland dropped by today. Nice woman. We had a nice talk. I'm helping out in the city now. Not much work to do in Teledon. Clean up here and there. Maintain. I'm hoping for a certain location in the city. Maybe my helping will get me some leverage with Watson. I'm enjoying the time with Sutherland anyway. More city work. Not much happening here. Nick managed to get me an extra Teledon book today. Good man. Shirumi is back. Obviously not the same one, but we've got a new girl here. Amazing. I'm curious to know how many there are now. I think I'm going to try and schedule another trip in the next couple of months. The trip was a success. Amazing. There are quite a few of these creatures all over. Perhaps a seasonal thing. Water's where I had been before I found a pod of the creatures. And a bigger one. I'm not sure, but these seem to be young ones. The larger creature was absolutely stunning. I've never seen anything like it in all my days of hunting. I was actually a little frightened. This thing could have swallowed my bolt whole. To take even a small portion home would be... I'm going to have to think this one through. Back to work here. I'm installing a gun of some kind down on the dock. It's a Denis mining instrument, I believe. Regardless, the DRC of all people want it set up. Strange. Gun is up. Not working, but up. Laxman will have to get it working, or at least give it a shot. Not familiar enough with this kind of Denis technology. More city work and less Teledon work. Did clean up the cages in the larger mushroom. Took out some crates and moved them upstairs. I think another surface trip is in order. Marie wants to go up as well. A little longer than I had expected for obvious reasons. Horrible tragedy. I'm happy to have Denis, a distraction of sorts. I brought down a fish tank, at least the first part. Want to see if I can learn more about these flappers. I can get some young ones and save water from the lake. We'll see. The stress level is rising rapidly. Only a few months out and they are planning on bringing down some visitors. They are cleaning up a neighborhood for a group of new people. Interesting. Victor found some kind of communication device this week. A key, they're calling it. Very interesting device, I have to admit. Victor does seem to know his stuff, at least. Talked to Engberg about a building in the city that I'd like to have. We'll see. Victor can't get to the gun for a long time. In fact, DRC wants the whole thing taken out now. Fine by me. Found another new book today. Perhaps I have my city location now. Great view as well. I'm moving some things there. A little more out of the way. Glad I brought the more expensive fish tank now. Received a report from the surface. Patriots aren't doing well, and I don't think I'm going home this holiday. I'll help here. Teledon seems stable, but Kodama has asked me to look at a different age and help them out. Sounds like an interesting place. Almane or something. Why not? Strange place. Needs lots of work, but it's been good. I think I'm heading up to the surface. Watson had recommended we go up. Marie is joining me again. Wasn't supposed to be gone this long, but who would have thought the Patriots would win the Super Bowl? I don't think Watson is very pleased, but too bad. Visitors are down, and I wasn't here to see them. The DRC wants me to go through Teledon again, although I'm not sure why. This place has been cleaned up for months. Typical of them. I should know better by now. New Shroomy creature seems pretty happy here. Runs when the machinery comes on, but usually returns. I usually leave the gate down. Keys are working great. Pretty amazing devices. Haven't met any new visitors. Watson says he doesn't want me to. Typical bureaucratic nonsense. They are ready to open up the island. I have to admit, I'm pretty excited about watching these people visit. I'd love for them to come to Teledon, but the DRC insists it's not ready. Not sure what more they want. A new group of visitors are coming. The DRC is really hyping this one. Authorized explorers. Enjoyed talking to Robin and Rand again. Nice guys. Hadn't seen them in a long time. The new authorized explorers seem to be enjoying themselves. Fun. Funny DRC posts that restoration efforts will be given top priority this month. More meetings and more inspections when the age has been ready for months. If it makes them feel better, they did acknowledge that I found the book. Wasn't expecting that. On an even funnier note, all meetings are being held in the Dakota now. I couldn't have asked for much more. So they made that public. Shroomy was in here and I had to make up some reason to postpone the trip. If they had seen the equipment and such... In fact, it's time to get rid of some of this. If the DRC had come here today, could have been bad. Phase 5 approved. What's that even mean? Simpson told me about a pretty strange stone, so I tried it out. I want it myself. I think I'll keep it here. Don't really care what the DRC thinks of that either. Stone is gone. Vanished right out of my office. Where's Simpson? Got the stone back again. Simpson claims it was back where he found it. Regardless, this time I'm keeping it in a more secure location. Now Phase 5 approved. I've been so angry this past month, I've been ready to throw in the towel and head back up. It's utterly ridiculous what they are doing. The safety requirements they are pulling out. Somebody had better do something before we have an all-out government down here. Although these threads on the forum may be something, the DRC in secret is suspecting Zandy. This could get fun. Stone is gone again. How? Last time with the stone, I'm trying a more secure location. Gone again. I have the stone one more time. Simpson says he can't take it again, so I'm trying out one more thing. Gut feeling about these creatures. Watching people here has been fun. Maybe it all has been worth it. Stone hasn't gone anywhere this time. I think they're afraid of the hanging rock. Interesting. Surprise! Rebek was shelved. I saw this one months ago. This is wild. They're flipping out over there with all these Zandy breaches. Hilarious. I love it. Of course, they haven't mentioned a thing to me yet. I'm sure they don't plan on it. Big meeting this weekend for the DRC. They don't know what to do about Zandy and it's driving them nuts. They think it's only going to get worse. I hope so. Kodama wants to bet on surface games now. Who would have thought? But I'll take his money. On a more adventurous note, Nick got us into Rebek today. Amazing. I'd love to spend some time there, but we had to hurry. He tells me there is a new age as well with creatures. I'd love to get there, but I doubt it will happen. The DRC is sick to their stomach with this Zandy stuff. I'm on his side, but I hope this just doesn't make things worse. Zandy is getting them on his side. I wish I could describe Kodama. Wow, I love it. I did see his sign on the surface. No one ever seemed to notice it, though. I guess he's making them. Heh. Marie has lost it. A t-shirt? I agreed with Kodama on this one. Kodama is taking money from me and is driving me crazy. If I wasn't watching his veins burst in those meetings, I'd be much more angry. It's worth it, though. Well, Zandy is unstoppable now. He's going to bring people down and they can't stop him. It is funny, but it's also more work. I want this to work for everyone, so I'm helping out more where I can. Still hoping for leverage on that structure I've been wanting for a few years now anyway. This Zandy stuff is great. I do think the DRC is going to be ready for them, but still, more power to him. Amazingly, no one has officially talked to me yet from the DRC. Looks like Uru is it now. Thanks to Zandy, again. Christmas Eve in Teledon. If I imagine hard enough, the spores look like a Northeast Christmas. Not really. I think I'm heading back for the playoffs in New Year. No playoffs, but still a good New Year. This should be a fun year for Denis. Also brought down some more fish tank pieces this trip. I think it's about ready, if I get a chance to work on it. Should be interesting to watch Zandy in the DRC as well. I'll be anxious to see who gets the power here. Looks like they are trying to get the upper hand. Explain the Zandy story and be upfront about it. Watson had to convince some of his members of that one, believe me. But probably smart. Ages are being approved, visitors are coming down, I'm losing time to write journals. Closing, opening, I don't understand the idea, but the DRC is definitely trying to get ready for the new arrivals. Another large group just came down, and it seems as though things are going fairly smooth. I've heard them talking recently about a house out on the island. They are beginning initial restoration, but I've got to find a way on that. Nick says the place is amazing. He's read some histories, and the stories go on and way back. I'm going to talk to Watson now. There are rumors of a Denis survivor going around here. The DRC is keeping it low-key, but it seems pretty reliable. Obviously, I'll be the last to hear, but I've got to find a way to meet him as soon as possible. Funny, seems like a lot less people are in the city nowadays. DRC is talking quite a bit about visitors' access to H's they have not yet approved. They are a little irritated, to say the least, and trying to figure out a way they can control it. I don't think they can. Interesting. Finally got the gun up and working. Laxman is getting better every day. The guy is a genius. Watson stopped by as well to see it working, although he seemed more concerned with me cleaning up the scrap than the gun itself. Typical DRC. Out of the blue, Sonia Michaels has contacted me. Old friend from the surface working for some paper up in Maine. Says she is coming down for a long period, wants to write. On a more topical note, Watson came by a few days ago asking me to name the wildlife here. They aren't finding the names that he used for a lot of the animals. I don't think he really appreciated shroomy and flappers. Anyway, I named the birds here buggers. I think some part of that is Denis for big. That's what Nick said at least. Big bug. Wonder how they'll like that. Just returned from a short surface trip. Went to last week's Patriots game in Philadelphia. Excellent game. What they needed after that miserable performance in first week. Another win yesterday. Travis managed to meet me in Philadelphia and brought little Travis down with him. It was good to see them both. Sonia seems to like it down here. In fact, it looks as though she'll be staying for a while longer than she thought. I might be working for the DRC in a similar role as Simpson. Fine with me. Another inside scoop never hurts. I'm going to try and get a pub down here. DRC has apparently made long-term plans to open up a new section of the city, and there is a spot I'd like to have as my own. Time to start being nice again and see if I can get it. It looks like this is actually going to happen. Major preparations are underway to open the place up. The arguments for not doing it have been pushed under for now, and it's going to happen. When the hordes come, I've got to get out and meet them, talk to them. It's an opportunity to establish myself I won't have later. The pub is looking good. Very good. DRC has no idea the books were ever there. Good work, Nick. And it looks as though they are going to let me have it. I'd love to turn it into something to show off my favorite trophies. Wouldn't be bad to open it up for others as well. Have to think about that more. Can't get to a game right now and it's killing me. Too much going on down here. But I will be there for the playoffs. Talked to Travis today and we're going wherever it is, although at this point I'm planning on Boston. It's official. The pub in Jatairi is mine. Time to celebrate. Time to prove Kodama wrong. People are coming down from all over, and I have to say they are good people. Smart people. See right through the DRC in their games. At least most of them do. Definitely will be sides at some point. A few of the visitors in particular have impressed me. Dusanta, Tweak, Lucas, and others. Need to start writing down names. Don't want to forget them. Engberg has been odd lately. I've heard it from many of the visitors and seen it myself as well. Pressure must be getting to him. Little does he know it's only making the DRC look worse. Patriots win again. No surprise anymore. Bad time to be stuck down here, but these are critical times. Can't go to the surface now. This could be going very well. Spoke with Brian Fioka and Duskrin Datahri. Strange name, tonight. I could see them as eventual leaders. Engberg is whining again. Not good. They've called a meeting. This better not mean the pub is gone. Excellent talk with Brian tonight. Good man. What is it with this Phil character? The man is disturbing yet intriguing. I was able to talk to him last night for a while in chemo. He's probably just crazy, but if they listen to him, he could be very useful. More people need to hear him. He's agreed to meet with me again. This could be just what I needed. Sounds like it may be one of the best games all year. I may not have a choice but to make a service trip for the Jaguar game on my birthday. I have to see how things are progressing down here. DRC is obviously aware of Phil, as they should be. I have to say I'm happy to have a distraction. I haven't heard anything about Engberg's call for a meeting recently. Good timing. Phil, what perfect timing. The things he showed me this weekend are beyond anything I could have expected. I may have bought into the DRC propaganda myself. Not again. The DRC knows so little of the power of Denis. It's almost funny. Yisha is the key. With her, there is strength. It's either Yisha or the DRC. That needs to be the message, and Phil will help me in speaking it. They will listen to him. Didn't think I would be able to forget about what was happening down here. But sitting in the snow, watching Poole run that interception back. This team is as good as I've seen them. I can't wait for the playoffs. Being back on the surface cemented my decision. I'll be coming back for Christmas. In the meantime, I think I'm going to cut down a tree on my Relto and decorate it for the office here. Need to find Phil today. Haven't met with him in a while, and that's never good, even if the game was worth it. They've gone too far this time. The nerve of these people. The war has started. They cannot simply take Phil away with no reason and not expect consequences. I have given them consequences, and now it seems they will give me a taste of my own medicine. Kodama seems to have started the ball rolling. I fully expected this sort of reaction. I just hope I have enough people on my side when I need them. What a holiday! Though things down here are a complete mess, at least the surface is going well. Patriots won again. Was able to spend the time with Megan, Sean, and Brian. Took him to the game. Although down here it seems as though my credibility and respect has taken a downturn. Phil has apparently been killed. Or at least, that is what the DRC is saying. I'm not sure whether to believe them or not, but the evidence is not good. I've seen the pile myself. Watson has left for the surface, too upset to stay. Laxman and Kodama are taking a role. The city has been closed again. I'm losing my fight for this whole mess. It's too much and the people here seem to care little. It might not be worth it. Playoffs in 2 weeks. At least I have that to look forward to. It has been quite a year, especially recently. I have to say I never planned things to go this way, although looking back, it may be for the best. Watson has left. Somewhere, Laxman and Kodama seem to be running things, which, for the moment, is definitely good. At least they are moving somewhere. Though I may not always agree with them, I like their drive. I'm thinking about giving it a little more time and seeing if I can't get my pub back. I've been keeping quiet lately on purpose, letting things run their course. I may have become a little too aggressive, and I don't think I was helping myself. We'll see if I can't do things better this year. Still planning on heading up to the surface next week. Make the playoff trip a little longer than just the weekend. Though this baby isn't quite full, it seems a good time to start a new journal. So this is it, my last entry for the book 6 years in the making. Hard to believe. Though seeing the Patriots go to another Super Bowl, and hopefully win, is obviously on my mind, compared to what I've returned to here in Denis, what happened? I'm hearing that the DRC is leaving the whole thing behind. Watson is not returning. Kodama, Laxman, Sutherland, all the little guys, Nick Simpson. I never saw it coming. Engberg even. They are claiming funds, but I wonder if it was something more than that. I thought I would have a lot to write today, but my mind is going everywhere. I've come to love the place, the offices, the creatures, the people, the game, even the DRC. I'm stunned. Is it really going to come to an end? The disagreements of the past are no longer separating us, obviously. Had a good talk with Kodama and Laxman today. They are disappointed and saddened, frustrated. Poor Laxman is still working on the keys. Says he's standardizing keys and implementing some kind of remote upgrade. Except for that, they are beginning to close things down. They seem to know what happened to Watson. Apparently he spoke to Kodama at least once, since that day long ago. Neither wanted to go there, so I let it go. Regardless, there was a glint in their eyes. Maybe not too surprising for Laxman, but Kodama? The man never has an ounce of glint. It seems they have a journey they'd like to take. Laxman must have seen the light. Key lattice is going down to base features before he heads up. I'm heading up to the surface myself, Houston for the Super Bowl. Another championship is just what I need right now. I'll be back. Champions! Again! Not sure I could have asked for a better game, regardless of the halftime debacle. I have to admit though, I thought the big victory would be enough, but I still find myself troubled down here. What is it? A coordinate? And why is Zandy sending this thing out? The gathered will tell the path of the shell? What? Spoke with Nick last night. He's already heading up, back to the northwest somewhere. I'd like to see the kid again someday. Good kid. I'll miss him. I think Fioka has left as well. Another good guy. Went to the spy room today, and not quite the same anymore. I missed the intrigue and found myself saddened at the thought of it all going away. No reason to go through the trouble of making the backside secure anymore. Looking back, I realize how lax I was. Anyone could have found the book. I assumed the backside of Teleon was secure, but it obviously wasn't. Not if they were all seeing Shroomy. And to think, if there had been 2 of them, all they had to do was close the door and their friend would have seen the book. I guess none of it matters now. Don't suppose anyone will be going to the slave caves anytime soon. Oh well. I'm a little ashamed that I'd forgotten about Phil. I suppose the surface trips, football games, and obviously events down here had caused me to forget about him. His Relto book was in the spy room. I paid the area a little visit, a memorial of sorts. I assume he is officially dead now, although I should ask the boys. My god, I may have killed him. Is this... There is no life here, literally and figuratively. They've all gone, and I'm stuck alone with the thought that Phil may have died because of me. I've talked to a number of the DRC about it. They never found a body, but apparently a destroyed key was found at the bottom of where the precipice once stood. No one wanted to say it, but I've had the dream twice now. Phil standing up there, confident in his ability to return to his Relto at any time. The first crack, still confident, enjoying the thrill. Another crack of stone, and the tower begins to break. He reaches down to grab the Relto book, just to be ready. It's then he realizes it's gone. He turns to escape, but he's already falling. A cry for help that those who were there heard. He has no chance, because I took the book. The rubble buries him forever. No, I have to believe it didn't happen that way. 2175.58.81 has appeared on my desk again. I thought everyone was gone. Zandy? If I don't do anything else, I have to find this place before I leave here. I'm supposed to. Zandy wouldn't send it out if there wasn't a reason for it. If it is him. Maybe I'll find some answers. Watson, Phil, the DRC, the failure? Did these coordinates hold the answers? Is someone else here? I'm not sure I'm alone anymore. I'm going to have to be careful. It seems obvious. I have to get the Great Zero on. Rumors used to be that the DRC had the multiple links inside of their private rooms in Corel. Getting to Corel isn't a problem, it's getting into the private rooms that is. It's something to do with the lights. I figured, just not sure what. G equals green, O equals orange, B equals blue. Simpson, don't mention anything about the upper area of the fortress in your Gahreesen report. I don't want people wandering all over Teledon looking for that weird link stone. Sharper. Analysis. Author, Simpson, transcribed from voice recorder. Age, Gahreesen. Date, 11/12/2001 to 6/4/02. Multiple trips. Okay, one thing seems immediately obvious. This place was built for security. No one could write a link anywhere in this place or the next. It was obviously a maintainer facility of some kind, and it doesn't seem that it was for general guild members. By that, I mean it was limited to at least the higher ranking members. As to how they got the first link written here, I don't know. Probably while it was under construction. It does seem pretty obvious that it's not going to happen again, unless something major happens to this place. I should say that Kodama has some theories about the age that have held up so far. May have been a special forces of a sort for the maintainers. Started later, mid-8000s, became somewhat of a research and development arm for the Maintainers Guild. I don't know, worth mentioning though. There are quite a few mentions of such groups in other docs Kodama has found, or at least seen. Entrance. To begin with, I'd wager that no one other than a high-ranking government official or similar ever even made it to this room. That's just my guess, but it seems pretty sound. I don't think any school buddies or girlfriends dropped by to see their maintainer friend. The linking book we found was deep within the Maintainer Guild. I'm sure it was well guarded in its day. You can see right off the bat, the entrance was extremely secure. Thick walls, one door, a high window, sniper maybe. If you manage to get in with a bomb or something, it's not going to do any noticeable damage. I love the Maintainer symbol on the floor and everywhere else you look, as though I might forget and wonder where I am. Waiting room. So visitors are escorted into this little waiting room. There's a window on one side, looks almost like a ticket window. Maybe turn in weapons or goods that aren't allowed. Maybe books. I'm sure they didn't want books in here. Yeah, it looks like mainly for books. There's another ticket window on the other side, although this one looks different. I'm pretty sure those are beetle cages on the other side. Beetles that sought out ink. Somebody was just telling me that there are all kinds of references to them in other docs. You didn't make it past this room with a book. As well, the doors never open at the same time, so even if somehow you make it out of the entrance room, you're still not going to make it past these mammoth doors out of the waiting area. Halls. Looks like the hall ran along the entire circumference of the building. There are plenty of rooms. I'll just try to hit them one at a time. First is an elevator, though. However, looks like it's only down. Wonder if it was always that way. More security, I guess. Once you made it into the halls, there is still nowhere to go. At least if they didn't want you going anywhere. Lockers. I would think that any books that were brought to the age were kept in the lockers. I'd imagine that some of the workers here are frequent visitors, also kept some equipment, but I could be wrong on that. Looks like they kept some maintainer gear as well. Markers, helmets, etc. Seems a little out of place, honestly. Keys. Okay, things are becoming a little more clear now. Just had a long chat with Laxman and researched some different docks over in the city that Nick had. Looks like the current condition that I'm seeing was not the original condition. The key was a major development not just for the guild, but also apparently for all citizens. Turns out they were just starting to hand out the keys to the public around the time of the fall. Nice timing. So it looks like they had done some renovations in order to facilitate the mass amounts of visitors that would be coming in order to retrieve keys. Turns out my little girlfriend analogy was pretty much completely wrong. Girlfriends and more were going to start coming here, at least to the open sections. Kodama corrected me. We've actually found multiple books in neighborhoods, as well as the guard maintainer book I mentioned earlier. Whoops. So visitors come in, walk through the doors, beetles check for books, and they walk down in the hall into the key room, get a key, and link out. Guards were probably at the up elevator, which is just behind this room. If they did happen to bring any illegal items, they get them back from the other side of the locker room, and off they go back home with their new shiny key. Makes more sense as to why the maintainer paraphernalia was in the locker rooms too. Probably a little display type thing for all the visitors. Impress them. Warehouse. Quite a bit of goodies in here, all of which I'm sure most visitors never saw. Pretty bad cave-ins from the floor above, though Engberg says structurally the place seems alright. He's doing more detailed inspections soon. Looks like most of these crates are filled with key maintenance type equipment, as well as a variety of spare parts, etc. I don't know. Laxman will have to give this place a good inspection. I'm sure he'll love going through it all. Beyond me, I know that. Beetle cages. Convenient cave-in. Not sure how one is supposed to get into the beetle cages without it. No idea how they did it. Link maybe. Regardless, pretty positive the cages were for beetles. Symbols on the front and quite a bit of remnants in some of the dirtier cages. We'll have to clean those up. Wonder when they all died. Speaking of access, another question. How'd they get to the second floor? Elevators skipped the middle floor. More security, I suppose. Second floor. Destruction was a little more substantial than I thought. Looks like it tore out a section of the outer wall even. I'm going to get out of here until Engberg can come back again. Been a few days, but I'm back. But I'm no expert, so I guess I have to trust Engberg. But he says this whole thing is one of the most solid, heavy pieces of construction he's ever seen. It's safe, he assures me. If I die here, and someone retrieves this recording, please sue him for me. Second floor looks similar to the first. Outer hall and a number of rooms. Have to remember that very few people probably ever walked these halls. There is no access via elevators, stairs, anything to get here. I assume it had to be done via a linking book, which is probably somewhere in the city. I suppose there could be a way to stop those elevators in the middle floor, but I doubt it. Regardless, this floor was extremely secure. Book access only, I'm guessing. Guard lounge. Next to the observation room, at least that's what I assume it was, is what looks like a guard lounge. Looks like they stayed here for long amounts of time. There are beds in here as well as couches. I assume these guys manned the window/observation post while visitors were coming in. Guard lockers. More lockers similar to the set downstairs, although these are manned with some heavy equipment. I'm sure Watson will want to see this stuff and keep it locked up well. In fact, I'm not even going to go into detail about it here. Laxman can write all about this stuff in a later report. I will say I didn't know that Denis had these kinds of technology. Gear room. Now I see why this floor was so secure. Looks like the whole power structure for this building is here. Amazing construction. The entire building looks to have been powered by some underground water source that caused it to turn. They implemented a gear that would grab onto teeth in the ground outside and provide them a power source as well. Talk about killing two giant birds with one stone. Pretty amazing. Power looks somewhat complicated. Seems as though there were at least occasions that power was turned off, as there are obviously controls to do that, and then start it again. I'm heading to the top. Top. Wow, I thought this building was big. The main portion is absolutely giant, and rotating too, of course. I'm overcome with the amount of work put into this place just for security. It's everywhere. Almost comical picturing government officials walking the same paths I am. Amazing. To get to the other side, looks like one had to walk across the bridge to the rock pinnacle. The first place since we've arrived that we're able to save a link. And it's not big, and there's a massive structure facing you if you did. Pretty funny to try to picture an army invading. All of them bunched up on this stone waiting for these bridges to rotate. What the? My gosh. The creatures. These things are something out of a horror movie. I've been up here a little while and I don't see them often, but when I do they're scaring me to death. I'm beginning to understand the fences and structures a little better. Perhaps some of them were designed to keep creatures out more than to keep visitors in. Don't hang out in these woods unless you have a big gun. Another bridge to reach this main portion of this place. More security. I will say that the platform between the bridges seems to have eroded. At one time, crossing the bridges was probably a security feature to ensure manageable groups would approach the larger building one at a time. But I would wager it was still a lot easier than it is now. The erosion to the platform between the bridges has made it a little rougher. I suppose the maintainers would like it even more in its current condition. Mud rooms. I'm not sure what to call these things, but they remind me of mud rooms, so I'll call them that. Not much here. Looks like each bridge has a mud room attached to it with another group of doors, etc. There doesn't seem to be any kind of decompression or decontamination that went on here. Really, they seem to be nothing more than another spot for another set of doors, another secure location. Training center. I was going to go through each of the rooms here, but after making a quick overview, I think I'll just start with the entire thing. There are 3 types of room in the building, 2 of each kind. There is a control room, 1 purple and 1 yellow, a display room, 1 purple and 1 yellow, and then a conference room, though those aren't colored. I assume there is one for each team. The entire building seems to be centered on the massive wall in the middle. The control rooms control the wall. The display rooms display the uniforms that were worn in the wall, I presume, and the conference rooms allow the government visitors and high-ranking officials to confer about those training on the wall. C. So, control rooms first. Control rooms. I'm not going to go into controls for the wall in this doc. I'll let Laxman do that at some other time. Regardless, the panel here obviously controls the wall. The wall was used for training as well as testing of various suits. I believe the central room can get pretty hot, cold, smoky, or anything else I can imagine pretty quick. It was a competition. Whoever could get to the top the quickest. Teams would set up the obstacles and members would race. There is a side tunnel that provides access to the display rooms from the control room. Display room. Not sure that these were originally display rooms, or maybe they were. Either way, there are quite a few old maintainer suits in here. There is also the latest maintainer suit, or skin, here. I guess I should say the machine to put on the latest maintainer suit is in here. Now that we've had some time to look at this, it's incredible. We're talking about a suit that was skin tight and had linking abilities, etc. built in. Very high tech as far as maintainer suits go. Very impressive. A maintainer would fall down the chute, and while traveling to the interior room / the wall, the suit would be placed on him. I'm beginning to try this whole thing, but DRC is insisting no one does. Laxman already has someone on it, trying to figure out more. I'm first when they do. I think these rooms could basically be described as a team locker room. Conference rooms. Well, I guess these rooms were where the bigwigs sat down and talked about their maintainers. Obviously, they are set up to watch the wall, and there are displays that show the patterns being built and played on the wall. We'll never know, but I can see the guild masters in here watching their teams compete, preparing to send them out to some radioactive fireball age to see if their new suits can stand the elements. Upper portions. I'm not going up now, but we do know the upper portions were used as prison cells. Typical Denis technology, they had a single linking book that went to all the cells. Since the building was always rotating, a very complicated linking apparatus and timing mechanism was associated with the book. The timing of the link would determine which cell the person linked into. Apparently, it was very tight. Speaking of linking, this entire building is rotating as well. It seems that most visitors came on the path from the well, although there were also books directly to this building. There had to be. It seems that many of them also use the timing mechanism to link into specific rooms. Looked like another new feature designed and built by these guys. One of many, I'm sure. I'm just wondering where the main research labs were, or better yet, where did everyone sleep or eat? The key. Basic functions. Denis number 3 on the backside of all of these devices. 3 functions? There's certainly more than that. 3 core functions. In any case, it's a convenient name. Key. 1. Nexus interface. The Nexus seems to be just an interpreter for key data. Key allows users to provide or decline book access to other keys. I think we can make this work for neighborhoods as well. Ages names defined in the key appear in the Nexus, or should. 2. Interpersonal communication. Obviously the most important function, voice or text communication to other key users. Inter or intra-age doesn't seem to matter. 3. Image capture, storage and transfer. A single button press captures an image and stores it within an appropriate age directory. Images can be sent to other keys as well as uploaded to some imagers, depending on versions. Seems main servers coordinated this functionality. Might be tough to revive. 4. Journal entry, storage, and transfer. Fairly simple. Write notes and store them. Again, server handles transfer journal, key to key, or key to imager. 5. Markers. The ability to drop and collect markers at the operator's present location in an age. Layers of functionality here. Requires more research. Perhaps this feature could be tapped to help with the GZ problem. Interesting. 6. Doors. In this age, the key, even at its most basic level, opened level 1 doors. Level 2 and 3 doors require higher versions. There is much more variety to these devices than we first suspected. The dispenser is capable of handing out at least 5 versions and possibly more. Feature set varies wildly. There must have been a system to control and track these devices. Where? Imager built into the unit is surprisingly compact and efficient. Uses the same blasted lattice compression system for lack of a better word. Have to crack that. Powerful projection for something that fits on the top of a hand. Markers. Purpose. Perhaps a training tool for maintainers. Markers could be set up and recruits and or lower ranks run through the course. Interface. Keys interact with markers in 3 ways. Team capture. Once all the markers are placed, there are 2 teams that can collect markers. The key registers the marker to a respective team. Markers can vanish after a time limit or after all have been registered. Markers must be in the same age. Test. Can markers be reset? Hold. Again, 2 teams. Markers only vanish after a preset time limit has expired. Markers do not disappear upon being activated, although server keeps track of what team is holding it. Server summarizes team holding most markers at the end of the time limit. Markers must be in the same age. Single capture. Only one individual key can register markers. Markers also carry text. Entire marker set can be sent via key to another key anywhere in the system. Markers can be placed in any age. Markers themselves seem identical to those produced by the Great Zero. In fact, I'm positive the same technology is being used, if not the Great Zero itself. It's possible that the keys are communicating with the Zero itself and writing these marks anywhere they are registered. Problems with that theory, maintainer markers, etc. Key registration. Key tracks of other keys on 3 levels. Intra-age. Any other key within the age is logged and displayed. Key to key. Any individual key can be registered for specific tracking. As a result, no matter where that key is, journals, photos, etc. can be sent and communication can occur. Perhaps this was used for temporary or semi-permanent team missions. For our purposes, a friends list? Groups. The key also recognizes groups, somehow related to the Nexus. Seems possible, if properly configured, to support neighborhood lists within this function. Returning. It is odd being here again after losing myself. I don't feel like part of this, and yet I feel like I am here for something. Odd. This restoration is not right. It's not that it's wrong, just that it will only rebuild, not restore. Rebuilding is about slicing and fixing on the outside. Rebuilt trees make fences and walls. Restoration is about growth and life on the inside. Restored trees make fruit and shade. She is making sure that the tree has begun to grow again. What is Denis? What is this kingdom? I have read of Denis the people. I have lived in Denis the place. I have spoken Denis the language. A kingdom is made of both life and belief. It is only real with both. Lives without belief is a kingdom of cards only waiting to fall. Belief without lives is a kingdom of dead, only waiting to live. I know a little, but I only think I know more. I see a little, but I only think I see more. I understand a little, but I only think I understand more. I seek a little, and I know I will find more. I can never know, see, and understand. I can only ever know, see, and understand more. I talked to many people today, but I don't really know them. How can I know other people? They are revealed only in their words and actions. I suppose only really in their actions. Words are easy. I talked to many people today. I am growing, and I am growing anxious. And I am growing weary, and I am growing closer. And I am growing up, and I am growing impatient. And I am growing leery, and I am growing wise, and I am growing less and less. My seeking feels like it comes to an end. Now I feel like I am called higher, to become lower. I will find them again. They are calling me. I don't know why, but I will know when I find them. I remember what they showed me before, and I must find that again. I hear them even now, calling me. She has heard them. I can't resist. I am going. And with that, we have read all of the books that are in the main ages of Uru, Ages Beyond Mist. I'm definitely not done with this. There are plenty more books for me to read, but these are all the ones that have shown up so far. But yeah, thank you all so much for following my read-through of the books of Uru, Ages Beyond Mist, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.